Welcome to today's Explainer. We're doing something really fun today. We are going to completely master the basics of Scratch, which is this incredibly powerful block-based programming language. But we aren't just going to learn the theory and call it a day. No, we're going to immediately test our new skills by solving the chapter's practice questions together. So, if you've ever wanted to create your own interactive stories, or digital art, or even video games without having to type out endless lines of complex code, well, you're in exactly the right place. Grab your focus, because we have got a lot of ground to cover. Here is our game plan. We're going to tackle this in 5 rapid-fire phases. First up, the Scratch interface explained. Second, we'll get into code blocks and sprite movement. Third, we'll learn how to draw shapes with the pen tool. Fourth, we'll solve the objective practice questions. And finally, fifth, we'll break down the short answer questions. All right, part 1, the Scratch interface explained. Think of this as taking a quick tour of your new workspace. Before we can build anything cool, we need to know exactly where all our tools live inside the Scratch 3.0 offline editor window. If you look at the layout, it actually makes a lot of sense. Up top, you've got your menu bar, standard stuff for saving and loading. Over on the far left, you'll spot the Blocks palette. This is basically your main toolbox. Right in the massive middle section, we have the Script area. You can think of that as your assembly line where you put everything together. And finally, over on the right, we have the Stage. That's the actual screen where the magic happens and your program comes to life. Getting familiar with where these are will literally save you hours when you're coding. Now, to really understand Scratch, you need to lock 2 foundational terms into your brain right now, because pretty much everything we do revolves around them. The first is the sprite. The sprite is your actor. By default, it's that little orange cat you always see. The second is the script area, which is where you drag and drop your blocks to give that actor its directions. So if you remember nothing else, remember this. The sprite is who is performing, and the script area is what they're actually supposed to do. Moving right along to part 2, code blocks and sprite movement. Let's add some action and color to this. Since we don't type text-based code in Scratch, we use these vibrant, color-coded blocks to make things happen. You're going to want to pay super close attention here, because visualizing this cheat sheet is basically going to be your superpower. And spoiler alert, it is heavily tested in our quiz later. Notice how motion blocks are distinct blue. Those move our sprite. Looks blocks are purple, and they change appearances. Sound blocks are pink. Events, which actually trigger our scripts to start running, are yellow. And control blocks, which we use for things like looping and pausing, are orange. Memorize these colors. I'm telling you, they are the literal grammar of the Scratch language. So how do we actually use them? Getting our sprite to move is a beautifully simple 4-step process. First, click the blue motion block category. Second, grab the Move 10 Steps block and drag it right into your script area. Third, drag a Turn 15 Degrees block and snap it right underneath the first one. They literally connect just like digital Lego bricks. And finally, just click that stack of blocks to run your script. When you put it into practice, it is incredibly satisfying. Notice how tightly those glue motion blocks snap together in the script area? The second you click that stack, the sprite on the stage immediately moves forward 10 steps and turns 15 degrees clockwise. It's instant gratification. And honestly, that's what makes learning Scratch so much fun. Okay, part 3, drawing shapes with pen. Let's become digital artists. We know how to move, right? But what if we want to leave a trail behind us as we go? Well, I'm going to let you in on a huge secret that trips up almost every beginner. The pen tool isn't actually there by default. You will not find it in your standard blocks menu. You have to follow specific steps to reveal these hidden green pen blocks. You have to go down to the bottom left, click the Add Extension button, and then select the pen option. Only then will those green drawing blocks magically show up in your menu. Let's see how we build this into an actual program. Once you've grabbed the pen tool from the Add Extension menu, you can start combining categories. Check this out. We combine an orange repeat block from our control category with our blue motion blocks and our brand new green pen blocks. By snapping in pen down and setting the pen size and color, our sprite will draw a nice thick yellow line as it moves forward.
But what if we want a circle instead of just a boring straight line? It's easy. By simply changing the values inside our blocks, we get a totally different outcome. We just change our repeat block to loop 30 times. Then we change our move block to 10 steps and our turn block to 20 degrees. When we run this script, the sprite takes a step, turns a tiny bit, draws, and repeats that 30 times to perfectly trace out a circle on the stage. It's basically geometry made completely visual.
All right, part 4, objective practice questions solved. Bootcamp is officially over. Take a deep breath, stretch your mental muscles because we are shifting gears. It's time to put all that fresh knowledge to the test by solving the objective questions from the chapter. Let the game show begin. Let's kick things off with some multiple choice. Question 1. What is the area where you drag and drop blocks to create a script? Think back to our workspace tour. Yep, the answer is B, the script area. Question 2 asks, which tab would you use to change how a sprite looks? Well, if you want to change an actor's appearance, we change their costume, right? So the answer is C, the costume tab. Keeping that momentum going, question 3. What color are the motion blocks? Remember our superpower cheat sheet? Motion is always D, blue. Question 4. To get the pen block, what is the first button you need to click? As we just covered, it's a hidden tool, so you absolutely must click B, Add Extension. And finally, question 5. To save your project, where do you go? Just like in almost any other computer program, you head right over to D, the File menu. Next up, the matching section. Let's connect the block categories with their core functions. Number 1, motion, matches with C, move a sprite. For number 2, if we want to change looks, we need A, change appearance. Sound, at number 3, perfectly aligns with E to record and add sound. Moving to number 4, events is B to trigger scripts to run. And rounding it out, number 5, control, connects to D to add looping blocks in a script. See? Memorizing those colors and functions pays off big time. Let's knock out the fill-in-the-blanks using our word bank. For number 1, the script area is an area where a script for a sprite is created. Moving to number 2, a sprite is a graphic character on which a script is created. Number 3 tells us the sound block is pink in color and is used to add sound. For number 4, the orange-colored control block is used to add looping blocks to a script. And lastly, number 5, to exit from Scratch, you just click on the Close button up on the title bar. Let's finish up this subjective section with some true or false. Number 1, the Sounds tab is used to change appearance. That is definitely false. The Costume tab handles that. Number 2, the Blocks menu displays categories like motion and looks. That is true. Number 3, the Motion block is purple. False again. Motion is blue, looks is purple. Number 4, the Pen block is available by default. This is a massive false. As we learned, it has to be manually added via the extension button. Number 5, click Save in the File menu to create a new project. Actually, scratch that. Let's look closer at the wording. Clicking Save saves a project, clicking New creates one. So be really careful with phrasing on tests, but based on the provided solution key for this specific quiz, the general saving mechanism via the File menu is marked as true as the right action area. And finally, part 5, short answer questions explained. Let's connect all the dots. You guys did awesome on the objective portion, so let's wrap up our review by explicitly answering these short-form questions. This will guarantee we have a deep, test-ready understanding. So question 1 asks, what is Scratch, and name 2 things you can create with it. We know now that Scratch is an educational, block-based programming language used to create interactive stories, digital art, and video games without having to type out complex code. Question 2 asks about the 3 main tabs in the Scratch window. Bringing back our workshop analogy from earlier, those are the Code tab, which is our script assembly line, the Costume tab, which is our wardrobe department, and the Sounds tab for all our audio. Question 3 simply asks, what is a sprite? Remember our core definition. It is the graphic character on which a script is created. It's your digital actor. Question 4 asks for the main difference between the motion block and the looks block. The absolute crucial point here is action versus appearance. Motion blocks are blue and they're used strictly to move the sprite around the stage. Looks blocks, on the other hand, are purple and they're used to change how that sprite visually appears to the user. Home stretch? Question 5 asks how to add the pen block. Easy, we click the Add Extension button and select Pen. Question 6 asks about the exact function of the Repeat 10 block. Well, it's an orange control block used specifically for looping a set of scripts automatically so we don't have to write the same code over and over. And question 7, how do you open a saved project? You just pop up to the File menu and select Load from your computer. Okay. We've mastered the interface, we've drawn geometric shapes, and you've completely aced the chapter quiz. But I'm not letting you off the hook just yet. I'm going to leave you with a high-order thinking skills challenge, directly from the book. Every time you open Scratch, that default orange cat sprite is staring right back at you. So, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to explore the interface and figure out exactly how to delete that cat and replace it with something totally brand new. Seriously, dive into the software, click around the sprite list area on the bottom right, and see what you can figure out. So, what kind of actor are you going to put on your stage? Keep exploring, keep coding, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.